Today I'm going to have ChatGPT give me a basic web scraping program in several languages. Then I'll test the code. To do this, I'll be using Visual Studio Code and running the program straight from VS Code or typing in commands in the terminal to build and or run the programs. In case you don't know, web scraping is a method of automatically visiting a website with a program and downloading the HTML contents of that site. To be able to scrape a site, you need to visit the site first and find the items you want to scrape. For example, on a web scraping practice site, you may want to scrape the items in a list and save them to an Excel file or a database. Today, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to have the contents printed in the terminal. What you'll do is you'll right-click to inspect the element on the website. You'll find either the HTML or the CSS tag or path. Copy that path and then give it to ChatGPT and tell it to make you a web scraping program to find those elements. Tell the chatbot to give you a program in the language of your choice. Today I want to get a web scraper in Python, Java, and JavaScript. Let's hope we don't have too many errors, but if we do, we can always paste them right back into ChatGPT and ask it for a solution. Okay, it's worth noting that ChatGPT cannot actually scrape the web with a program yet. Right now it can browse the web with Bing. You can have it look at websites, you can have it read the data from the websites. It can even run code now. Simple programs that do not require a user interface or connection to the internet. So right now, to scrape the web with the help of ChatGPT is to ask it for code and then run that code. So it's basically like an assistant. It's going to write this code for you. It's going to give you all the information you need. It will tell you all the steps you need to take to scrape the web. As I said earlier, you'll go to your website, figure out what it is that you want to scrape, and then you'll find the CSS path to that item, to those items on that page, and then you'll tell ChatGPT and you'll say, give me a Python program or whatever. So that's what I started with. Python is really easy. I just put it right in my VS Code, Visual Studio Code, hit run, and it worked like a charm. It worked right out the gate. Very, very simple. But I wanted to challenge myself, so I tried to do Java and then eventually JavaScript. So what you can do is say, give me the exact same program, but in Java. ChatGPT will remember. It'll keep a conversation going. It will remember what you said earlier. It will remember the code from earlier in the session, earlier in the conversation, if you will. And then say, change it to Java. And that's exactly what we did here. After many, many errors and problems, I finally was able to get a JAR file that worked in the folder of my web scraper. This is a little more complicated than running a simple Python script. You gotta have if you're gonna use a library, you gotta have that JAR file in your folder. You have to compile, you have to know what you're doing, but ChatGPT can help you. It'll tell you what code to write in the terminal to compile the file, what command in the terminal to run it. And here you see I have an error, and then I can just paste the error. You don't have to say anything else, just paste it right back into ChatGPT. It will tell you exactly what the error is and how to fix it. You don't need to prompt it for a solution. It will understand that you're asking about an error, and then it will tell you the problem. Usually there's enough information in the error text from Visual Studio Code to be able to figure out what it is that was the problem. Very simple. You can just copy the code, the little copy button, paste it right back in, and then finally, eventually it worked. It doesn't look great, but it definitely connected and scraped So now I'm going to try JavaScript. So I told ChatGPT, give me the same program in JavaScript. So it told me to download, what to install. I installed Node.js, opened up a new file in a new folder. And it gives you the code. You can also ask it to put comments on each line, and it'll do that to an extent, but you can ask it to explain everything if you're really trying to learn this. Right now I'm just trying to get a program to work. I hope to learn by doing, by eventually seeing and just doing with repetition. As you can see, it worked again. It doesn't look great. I asked it for solutions to that, and we tried different things. And here you see I went over the limit. So there's only something like 40 messages every 3 hours that you can send it, even on the plus that I'm paying for. And unfortunately, it'll kick you back to the regular 3.5. But it doesn't stop you. If you don't have the plus plan, it'll actually stop you until you can't do any more messages with ChatGPT until a certain time. But it will give me back to the 3.5, which is actually quicker anyway. So if you're trying to learn, I recommend to have ChatGPT help you learn. And at the end of each coding session, have it give you 10 or so multiple choice questions about what you just did. And like I said earlier, it will remember what we were talking about. It will remember the different programs that it gave you, and it will ask you questions, relevant questions about those lines of code. And all you have to do is say, give me 10 multiple choice questions, answers at the end. Sometimes it'll mess it up and give you the answers right away, but you can always just tell it, give me the answers at the end. And then that way you can slowly learn how to scrape the web. So I hope this little video helped you out and showed you how you can scrape the web with ChatGPT with the help of ChatGPT. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.